Hello, and welcome back to Kuma English Listening Hub. I'm your host, and today we're discussing a topic that has fundamentally transformed the way millions of people work around the world: remote work. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated a trend that was already beginning to emerge in the early 2020s. Suddenly, offices were closed and employees were forced to work from home. But what started as a temporary measure has evolved into a permanent shift in how we think about work itself. In this episode, we'll explore the multifaceted nature of remote work. We'll examine both the significant advantages and the considerable challenges that come with this new working arrangement. We'll also discuss what the future might hold for remote work and how both employers and employees are adapting to this changing landscape. So, let's dive into the world of remote work and discover what it means for the future of employment. Before we discuss the implications of remote work, let's first clarify what we mean by the term. Remote work, also known as telecommuting or working from home, refers to any arrangement where employees perform their job duties outside of a traditional office environment. However, it's important to understand that remote work exists on a spectrum. Some employees work remotely full-time, meaning they never set foot in an office. Others engage in hybrid work arrangements, where they work from home for part of the week and come into the office on other days. Still others work in a flexible arrangement, where they can choose when and where they work, as long as they meet their deadlines and deliverables. The definition of remote work has also expanded significantly. It's no longer limited to desk jobs or knowledge workers. Today, remote work encompasses a wide variety of professions, from software developers and graphic designers to customer service representatives and financial analysts. One key characteristic of remote work is that it relies heavily on technology. Employees use various digital tools and platforms to communicate with their colleagues, access company resources, and complete their work. This technological dependence is both a blessing and a curse, as we'll explore later in this episode. Let's start with the positive aspects of remote work. There are numerous benefits that both employees and employers can enjoy from this arrangement. For employees, first and foremost, remote work offers unprecedented flexibility. Employees can structure their day around their personal needs and preferences. They can work during their most productive hours, whether that's early in the morning or late at night. They can also eliminate the time-consuming commute to the office, which for many people can take anywhere from 30 minutes to over 2 hours each day. This flexibility also translates into better work-life balance. Employees can attend to personal matters, spend more time with their families, or pursue hobbies without sacrificing their professional responsibilities. For parents, remote work can mean being present for important moments in their children's lives, such as school pickups or lunch breaks together. Additionally, remote work can lead to increased productivity. Without the distractions and interruptions of a busy office environment, many employees find they can concentrate better and complete their work more efficiently. Some studies have shown that remote workers are actually more productive than their office-based counterparts. Remote work also eliminates geographical barriers. An employee in a rural area can now work for a company headquartered in a major city without having to relocate. This opens up opportunities for people who might otherwise be excluded from the job market due to location constraints. For employers, from the employer's perspective, remote work offers significant financial advantages. Companies can reduce their overhead costs by downsizing their office space. They no longer need to maintain large, expensive office buildings in prime locations. They can also save money on utilities, office supplies, and other operational expenses. Furthermore, remote work expands the talent pool. Companies are no longer limited to hiring employees from their local area. They can recruit the best talent from anywhere in the world, which can lead to a more diverse and skilled workforce. Of course, remote work is not without its challenges. There are significant obstacles that both employees and employers must navigate. For employees, one of the most pressing challenges is the blurring of boundaries between work and personal life. When your home is also your office, it can be difficult to switch off from work. Many remote workers find themselves working longer hours because they're always accessible and always thinking about work-related tasks. This constant connectivity can lead to burnout and mental health issues. The isolation of working alone can also be psychologically challenging, particularly for people who thrive on social interaction and collaboration. Many remote workers report feeling lonely and disconnected from their colleagues and company culture. Additionally, remote work requires significant self-discipline and motivation. Without the structure and supervision of an office environment, some employees struggle to stay focused and productive. Distractions at home, such as household chores, family members, or pets, can interfere with work. For employers face their own set of challenges. One major concern is maintaining company culture and team cohesion. When employees are scattered across different locations, it's harder to build strong relationships and foster a sense of belonging. This can impact employee engagement and retention. Communication can also be more challenging in a remote environment. While technology enables communication, it's often less spontaneous and more formal than in-person interactions. The informal conversations that happen around the water cooler or during lunch breaks, which often lead to creative ideas and problem-solving, are lost in a remote setting. Furthermore, remote work can create challenges for management and supervision. It's harder to monitor productivity and ensure that employees are actually working. Some managers struggle with the lack of visibility into their employees' activities. Given the advantages and disadvantages of both remote and office work, many companies are adopting a hybrid model as a compromise. In a hybrid arrangement, employees work remotely for part of the week and come into the office on other days. The hybrid model attempts to capture the best of both worlds. Employees get the flexibility and productivity benefits of remote work while maintaining the social connection and collaboration opportunities of office work. Companies can reduce their office space and overhead costs while still maintaining company culture and team cohesion. However, the hybrid model also presents its own challenges. Scheduling can be complicated, especially when employees have different preferences for which days they work remotely. There's also the risk of creating a two-tier system where remote workers feel less connected to the company than those who come into the office regularly. Some companies have found success with specific hybrid arrangements, such as requiring employees to come into the office on certain days for meetings and collaboration, while allowing them to work remotely on other days. Others have adopted a more flexible approach where employees can choose their own schedule, as long as they're present for important meetings and collaborative work. It's important to note that the feasibility and desirability of remote work varies significantly across different industries and job types. For knowledge workers in fields such as software development, marketing, finance, and consulting, remote work is often highly feasible. These jobs primarily involve working with information and communicating with colleagues, both of which can be done effectively from anywhere with an internet connection. However, for jobs that require physical presence, such as healthcare, manufacturing, retail, and hospitality, remote work is either impossible or impractical. These industries have been largely unaffected by the remote work revolution. Some industries have found creative ways to incorporate remote work. For example, some manufacturing companies have implemented remote monitoring systems that allow supervisors to oversee production from a distance. Some retail companies have expanded their online presence and hired remote customer service representatives. The pandemic also accelerated the digital transformation of many industries. Companies that had previously resisted remote work were forced to adapt quickly, and many discovered that it was more feasible than they had initially thought. So, what does the future hold for remote work? There are several trends that suggest how remote work will continue to evolve. First, we can expect to see continued growth in remote work adoption, particularly in knowledge-based industries. As companies recognize the benefits of remote work and as technology continues to improve, more organizations will likely adopt remote or hybrid work arrangements. Second, we'll likely see the emergence of new technologies that further facilitate remote work. Virtual reality and augmented reality technologies could eventually create immersive remote work experiences that feel almost as natural as being in the same physical space. Artificial intelligence could also help automate routine tasks and improve collaboration tools. Third, there will be increased focus on employee well-being and mental health. Companies will need to develop strategies to prevent burnout and isolation among remote workers. This might include mandatory time off, mental health support services, and initiatives to build company culture in a remote environment. Fourth, we may see the rise of digital nomadism as a lifestyle choice. More people may choose to work remotely while traveling or living in different locations. This could have significant implications for immigration policies, taxation, and labor laws. Finally, there will likely be a shift in how we measure productivity and success. Instead of focusing on hours worked or physical presence, companies will increasingly focus on outcomes and deliverables. This could lead to a more results-oriented work culture. Let's review some important vocabulary and expressions related to remote work that you've heard throughout this episode. Key terms: telecommuting, working from a location other than the office, typically from home. Hybrid work arrangement, a combination of remote work and office work. Flexible work arrangement, an arrangement that allows employees to have control over when and where they work. Deliverables, the specific outputs or results that an employee is expected to produce. Overhead costs, the ongoing expenses of running a business, such as rent, utilities, and salaries. Burnout, physical or mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Company culture, the values, beliefs, and behaviors that characterize an organization. Digital nomad, a person who works remotely while traveling or living in different locations. Useful expressions: to switch off from work, equal to stop thinking about work and relax. To blur the boundaries, equal to make the distinction between two things less clear. To foster a sense of belonging, equal to create an environment where people feel they are part of a group. To capture the best of both worlds, equal to get the advantages of two different situations. To accelerate a trend, equal to make something happen faster. Remote work has undoubtedly changed the landscape of employment. While it offers significant advantages in terms of flexibility, productivity, and cost savings, it also presents considerable challenges related to isolation, work-life balance, and company culture. The future of work is unlikely to be a simple binary choice between remote and office work. Instead, we'll likely see a diverse range of arrangements tailored to the needs of different industries, companies, and individuals. As we move forward, it's crucial that both employers and employees work together to create work arrangements that maximize the benefits of remote work while minimizing its drawbacks. This might involve adopting hybrid models, investing in technology and mental health support, and rethinking how we define productivity and success in the workplace. Thank you for listening to this episode of Kuma English Listening Hub. I hope you've learned not only about the complexities of remote work, but also expanded your English vocabulary and listening skills. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe to our channel for more in-depth discussions on contemporary topics. Leave a comment below and tell us: do you work remotely? What's your experience been? What do you think the future of work will look like? Until next time, keep learning English and keep exploring the world.